What's up, guys? Welcome to Dynasty Drip. Today, we're going to be going over some buy now players. I got a long list of guys in this video. We're going to start the video off with some contender buys, then kind of just work into some general buys, guys I'm targeting and the prices that I'm looking at. If you enjoy what you see today, make sure to hit like, make sure to hit subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning into the channel. So, first one we're going to go over today is a wide receiver. He changed teams this offseason. That's going to be Davante Adams. I think he's moving into a very good role on that team. The Rams have been able to support multiple wide receivers the last couple years in Kupp and Puka Nacua. And I just think Davante Adams is a better player than Cooper Kupp has been kind of since his, Triple Crown season a couple years back. Davante Adams still had it going with Aaron Rodgers. I think Matthew Stafford is a much better player than Aaron Rodgers at this point in both of their careers. Trade idea here I have for Davante Adams is, can I move Josh Downs, someone kind of in this area of the wide receiver market? I would be looking to move someone a little younger, maybe try to find a younger rebuilding team that is wanting to move off of Davante Adams. I think you have a chance to get this done. I think with someone like Josh Downs, I would even consider and be okay maybe tossing in like a third rounder on top of that if I need to do it to get something done. Next contender buy, and dude, you could just say this is a contender buy every single year, but it's got to be Derrick Henry. The dude's basically a top 5 running back. He's one of the oldest top 5 running backs, if not the oldest top 5 running back in the league right now. But he just puts up numbers. He's on an offense where he's going to get a ton of touchdowns. Yeah, he doesn't catch a bunch of passes, but he's just such an elite fantasy producer, and I don't know if the price really isn't worth it if you are a contender. Now, if I'm rebuilding, obviously we're not going to go target Derrick Henry. But if I'm a contender, I'm doing something like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a guy that maybe got drafted in the second round that is maybe getting a little buzz. Right now, I'm going to do Jalen Noel. But pick your mid-second player, toss in a future second. I'm calling it late because we're adding Derrick Henry to what's already a contender, and try to do that to get these elite assets onto your team to make a push for this year and next. I'm not going to spend too much time. Basically, similar trade idea here for Joe Mixon. I would choose Henry over Mixon. Yes, he's a little older. I just think he's more of an elite producer. But same basic idea here. A late second, early third player in DJ Giddens. Can I add a late second to go to get Joe Mixon? These are trades I'm sending out. I'm going to send something similar to multiple veteran running backs, the Camaras, the Mixon, the Henrys, maybe Chuba, David Montgomery. I think guys in this tier, if I can get them for this price, I'm very interested if I am a contender. Next one is going to be a tight end, someone I've actually spoken about before, but I think he's my number one contender buy at the tight end position if I'm going for someone that's going to be a little cheaper. Of course, Brock Bowers would be awesome to have on any team, but you're not going to be able to buy Brock Bowers very cheaply. The guy I'm going to talk about is Jonnu Smith. The Dolphins didn't really add much to their pass catching room or even their RB room, to be honest. I mean, Ollie Gordon, sure, Jalen Wright, Achane, but Mostert left. Westbrook Akine in free agency, but it's basically going to be Waddle, Hill, and Jonnu again. And Jonnu was really good last year. I think for me, he's someone that you could potentially plug and play as a 10 to 12 tight end, 8 to 12 maybe, and maybe you're not beating your opponents at tight end, but I think if you're trying to fill that position because you have a hole, I think you could do a lot worse than Jonnu Smith. And Jonnu Smith here, could I get him for a future third and a future fourth? I think, can I package a couple thirds maybe, go get Jonnu? These are trades I would do. Tight end premium, I'd probably pay a little more just because he's going to be worth a little more. But I think he's a good guy to look into if you're trying to get some depth at tight end or maybe even get a cheap starter for your team. Next one's going to be a similar kind of tier player, but for wide receiver, Juwan Jennings. He's going to be running in probably 2 wide receiver sets to start the season with no Ayuk. Ricky Pearsall there, but Jennings is going to be the vet in that room. Looked really good last year when he had availability and he basically had the opportunity. Jennings was a top 24 guy. He's a little older than you'd think, but he hasn't played a bunch, so I'm really not super concerned, to be honest. Trade here for Juwan Jennings is, can I just trade a late second and 26? As you notice the thing here, a lot of these are late seconds, late thirds in the future. That's because the first half of this video is going to be contender buys. So I'm assuming we're going to use this contender and we're going to be making the playoffs, and these picks are going to be late. But, 27.8 years old, really not too bad. Valued all the way down at wide receiver 50. I think you could slot Jennings into your lineup and be pretty fine with it, especially if it's at a wide receiver 3 or a flex kind of vibe. Next one's going to be a quarterback, and I'm actually going to do 2 veteran quarterbacks I want to target. First one, going to be the more expensive player in Jared Goff. Jared Goff, man, he is a great contender buy if you're looking for a 3 to 4, 5-year window out of your QB. He's about 30 years old. He's been a top 15 guy, basically with the Lions. He has all the weapons. So for me, those are all things I'm looking to target, especially out of a contending QB. Right here, I'd say I'd trade Xavier Worthy. Now, obviously, we don't want to have to give up young wide receivers, but I think if you drafted Worthy in a late first last year, you may have enough depth in your wide receiver room that I would be willing to trade him for Jared Goff if you need help at quarterback. You don't have to do this as a rebuilding move, but if you need a quarterback, this is something I would definitely do because I think Jared Goff is a great quarterback too for your dynasty team. You're still going to need an elite quarterback 1, but I don't think you can consider yourself a contender without an elite quarterback 1. So Jared Goff, quarterback 2 buy that I'm looking to go get. Next one, another quarterback, Matty Stafford. Already talked about him in the Devontae Adams segment of the show. Just think he's a good value, and he's really going pretty cheaply for me. Can I trade Tyrone Tracy to get Matthew Stafford onto my team? I like Tracy. I think he's a good depth running back, but with Scadaboo going there, I don't really know if he's going to have enough volume to be an elite producer. Now, could you play him in your flex? Sure. Do I still like Tracy as a player? I do, but if you need a quarterback, this is a cheaper way to get one that still has top 12, top 15 upside in Matthew Stafford. Now, moving on, we're going to do 4 more trades that aren't necessarily contender buys, more of just a buy now sort of style. First one's going to be a pick trade up, and that's going to be trading up into the tier in the rookie drafts that I'm trying to target, being 1-7. I have a clear top 7 players in a non-tight end premium league. Genty, Hampton, both the wide receivers, Hunter, Tech, Cam Ward, Travion. Those are my top 6 there. Then I have Judkins kind of in his own tier at 7. That's why I'm trying to get up into the top 7. So my trade idea here is, can I trade 3-1 to move up from 12 to 7? This is going to be my starting offer. I would definitely trade a second round pick to make this swap as well. But I don't want to come in too low and offend someone, but I don't want to come in too high and get it slam accepted. So I think for me, I just really like trading up into this tier of player. One more, this actually could be more of a contender buy as well. Going to be a wide receiver, Deebo Samuel, man. The Commanders did nothing in the draft to really add pass catchers to that team. They have Terry McLaurin, and they're going to have Deebo Samuel getting 5 to 8, 9 touches a game. Kingsbury loves those short routes. He led the NFL in some of those short plays last year and with the Cardinals. Deebo is the perfect guy to move into that offense and do that. And Deebo's just going way too cheap if you're looking for some depth at your wide receiver position in Dynasty. Can I trade a 3rd and a 4th in this year's draft to go get Deebo Samuel? 2 things that are not going to help you this year for a player that could help you this year. If you are a contender, you need to be looking to make trades like this to get depth for when injuries are guaranteed to happen. Finishing off the show, another wide receiver, someone who basically just dodged the draft of competition, Darnell Mooney on the Atlanta Falcons. I think he just dodged a big piece coming to Atlanta. They really targeted defense with their first couple picks, obviously trading up into the first round to get both of those pass rushers. So Mooney sets to be a wide receiver 2 on this team that has probably better quarterback play than they had last year with Penix coming into year 2. My trade idea here is, can I move Adonai Mitchell for Darnell Mooney? Mitchell, a talent I like, paired with a quarterback I do not like in Anthony Richardson. I don't see Mitchell's value going up at all this year, where I think Mooney still has 2 to 3 years of playable, flex-worthy fantasy football in him. And to finish this show off, we're going to talk about the guy on the cover, DeAndre Swift. He's not some 3-year window guy, I don't think at this point, but I think he's going to have a pretty good year with Ben Johnson. Yeah, he may be in a rotation, but we're projecting that offense to be better. And what I'm going to suggest trading for DeAndre Swift here is, can I move a late second and then some sort of toss in running back to go get DeAndre Swift? You know, maybe someone's trying to just get more draft capital. You catch them in the middle of the draft, a great time to buy older players like this. And when it comes down to it, DeAndre Swift is going to outscore the 212. And if you're trying to win or maybe gain some value, I think you could turn that 212 into an earlier future second or just some RB2 production this year out of DeAndre Swift. But thank you guys for tuning into the video. If you learned anything today, please hit subscribe. Give me 30 days to help you build and help your Dynasty team. Make sure to like the video. If you have a comment, shoot me some trade advice. Love helping you guys out. Go ahead and watch the other videos as well. Let's have a great offseason. Thank you guys for tuning in.